Deep in the heart of the rainforest, something is slowly burrowing through the soil. It has no arms or legs, but it's not a snake or an earthworm. It gives birth to live young and produces milk, but it's an amphibian, not a mammal. And despite living across 4 continents, hardly anyone knows it even exists. So, what is this mysterious animal? And what does it have to do with a 220 million year old fossil called Funky Worm? Welcome to the Wanderer's Expanse. From here, we can travel to every corner of this universe across time and space. So get ready to learn some new things and have some fun along the way. My name is Hayden, and these are Caecilians, the legless amphibians you've never heard of. The name Caecilians means blind ones in Latin, owing to their poor eyesight, as they spend much of their lives burrowed beneath the soil. Their order is named Gymnophiona, which means naked snake. Oh my! The smallest Caecilians are only around 4 inches long, while the largest known species can be up to 5 feet in length. They inhabit the loose soils of tropical and subtropical forests worldwide, including on islands like those in Indonesia, the Philippines, and even the Seychelles. Despite looking much more like a snake or a worm, Caecilians are amphibians, just like frogs and salamanders, but completely lack both front and hind legs from birth all the way through to adulthood. This likely helps them move through their earthy home, but it's not the only amazing thing about their skeleton that helps them burrow. Hey, I learned a new trick. Watch this. What? Now, when I say Caecilians are hard-headed, I don't just mean stubborn. I mean their skulls are literally compact and fused so they can push through dirt their entire lives. Which, honestly, is a whole new level of stubborn. They can also move their skeleton inside of their own body like an accordion meat suit, using a type of motion called an internal concertina. As they move through the soil, they can bend their spine inside of their body cavity and flex specialized muscles, establishing friction which they can then use to force their head forward or bring up the rear. A bit like if you wanted to go cave diving, but were stuck in a giant tube sock. Now, while most are pushing headfirst through the soil, there are some Caecilians that are fully aquatic as adults, which are often called rubber eels, despite being neither rubber nor eel. But now that we've gotten acquainted with these elusive amphibians in the modern day, let's take a quick detour to talk about where they got their start, and about one of my favorite fossil names ever. And it all starts in a long forgotten time called the 70s. Oh, the 70s. It was indeed a funkier time. But let me explain. About 220 million years ago, during the Triassic period, what is now the modern-day Chinle Formation in Petrified Forest National Park, Arizona, was once much closer to the equator. It was a lush, tropical ecosystem with wetlands as far as the eye can see, and the sounds of amphibians, large and small, filling the air. Also, bell-bottoms were still in fashion. And it was from this time that our earliest stem Caecilian fossil was found. My fellow wanderers, allow me to present Fungus vermis gilmeri, Latin for funky worm. Okay, I may have made him the tiny afro, but I swear, calling him Fungus vermis was not my idea, okay? The critic site just listened to the song Funky Worm for good luck and just ended up naming the species that, alright? He is kind of pulling it off, though. While it's only known from a few fragmentary remains, including pieces of the jaw and the top of the femur, it already had many similarities with modern Caecilians, including a long tube-shaped body and a strong compounded skull for burrowing. But there's way more weird stuff to talk about with Caecilians in the modern day, so we'll leave Fungus vermis here in the past. For now. So, what do Caecilians eat? Well, pretty much anything and everything they can get their teeth on, depending on their size, from insects and worms to small lizards, mammals, frogs, snakes, and the skin of their mothers. Yeah, we'll get back to that one. But when I say teeth, boy, do I mean teeth. Man, was that a shock. Okay, little buddy, say cheese. What the? Now, in case you didn't think they were cool enough already, Caecilians might be both poisonous and venomous. Wait, what? Ah! Like many other amphibians, they have glands in their skin that will secrete a toxic substance for passive defense, making them poisonous. But it seems that Caecilians, except for the rubber eels, also have these specialized glands near their teeth. After analyzing the composition of the secretions made by these glands, researchers found they had similar enzymatic activity as in the venoms of certain animals. They also found that they developed from the dental lamina, the same tissue that snake venom glands arise from. It's not exactly a clear case, since Caecilians lack both the muscles and the grooves in the teeth commonly needed to deliver venom, but it's definitely possible that they are one of the few truly venomous amphibians. But, you know, in case you were starting to think that Caecilians were a bit too weird or metal, they're actually very loving parents, who just so happen to feed their babies their skin. Aww, they all said in unison. In Caecilians that lay eggs, the young will sometimes stay with the mother for an extended period of time. During this time, the mother's skin becomes thickened and rich in lipids, and the babies will use specialized teeth to scrape off the outermost layer from the mother's body. And I just had to volunteer to babysit right before learning that. Unlike most other amphibians, some Caecilians will even give birth to live young. In these species, the young can stay within the mother for 6 to 11 months, being fed a nutritious secretion within the oviduct. Here, it's the oviduct lining that becomes hypertrophied instead of the outer skin, and the young will feed on this layer just like those that feed on the outer layer. And yet, despite all of this, despite being amphibians with live birth, despite feeding their babies their own skin, somehow Caecilians still aren't done, because Caecilians are amphibians that feed their babies milk. As it turns out, feeding a milk-like substance to young isn't something entirely unique to mammals, despite it being what they're named after, as several species of spiders, cockroaches, fish, and birds have been shown to do something similar. In Caecilians, the babies will touch or nibble at the mother's vent, even making high-pitched cries, just like any other baby who's hungry. Living their lives primarily underground, Caecilians are better attuned to low frequencies and probably aren't good at hearing these high-frequency cries. But despite that, it seems these moms will always get the message. Ultimately, Caecilians are an utterly unique combination of so many traits, big and small, expected and unexpected, that it makes it amazing that they even exist. I like to think that goes for each and every one of us too. So, I hope you had fun learning about Caecilians. And hey, if you know someone who loves animals but doesn't know about them, send them this video. Alternatively, if you have any crazy Caecilian facts of your own that I didn't cover, leave them down in the comments below. If you've watched this far and enjoyed, why not leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future adventures. These videos take a lot of time to make, so showing your support would mean a lot. Of course, I'm not an expert, but I do my best to make sure everything presented is as factual as possible. Some sources are down below. As always, I've been your arbiter, and thanks for visiting the Wanderer's Expanse. Dance party!